just love that we got to make your hands.
A tribute to women's history and contributions, a reimagining of Judy Chicago's The Dinner Party took on new life through the St. Lawrence Arts Council. Among the pre-selected honorees was St. Regis Mohawk Tribal Chief Beverly Cook. When approached with the project, her initial reaction was one of complete surprise.
I was shocked, I was caught off guard, I was flabbergasted, and I kept asking, are you sure it's me that that you want to talk to? And I didn't know about the project, I had no clue. So it took me a while to understand what it was that they were asking, and I kept saying, but why me? You know, when they described the Judith Chicago installation and what it was, I just felt like, but they must have the wrong person, or it was a shock.
Two local artists, Sue Young and Amy Pennington Lee, were entrusted with bringing Chief Cook's story to life. They immersed themselves in her world, gathering elements that spoke to her identity, culture, and legacy. From handmade quilted designs and personal stories to sacred teachings rooted in the natural world. Sue Young shares what influenced her most when incorporating Kanien'kehá:ka symbols that hold deeper meaning for Chief Cook.
The things that really made the biggest influence on the day that we went and cast Beverly's hands for this project, she had brought her quilt that she made, and she had this framed piece that had all about the life ring design that her father had done, and also the sky dome, and there was a lot of symbology and information there. I'm like, okay, here we go. We got a lot of stuff there. So I tried to incorporate all of those, and then also I really had this thing about collecting clay and using clay from the reservation. I did use some. It's a little bit on the plate, but the cup itself is mostly made from the clay.
The final piece captured more than just imagery. It embodied Chief Cook's lifelong mission to teach the value and influence of women in both the community and in nature.
It's stunning, actually, when you see it, the work that they did with the hands, and then the teaching that I do, which is one of the favorite things I do that I've done for a really long time, even during my stint at the Tribal Council, was the teaching, about the women's value and women's importance. And they caught that, inside of the piece, and, on the placemat, all of the elements of the women's influence, even in nature. It just is stunning, yeah.
Artist Amy Pennington Lee reflects on how the elements of water, wind, and the moon became powerful symbols in the artwork, representing Chief Cook's leadership and the deep connection between women and nature.
Thinking about the water as like the water that we need, and also as the water in the womb, and thinking about the grandmother moon symbology and like that representation of like the leader of women, and that you could feel that when you meet Chief Beverly, like that she has that influence and takes care. And like I just felt like the moon was important, because it also is like the cycle of the seasons and of the female cycle, and then the wind. I just felt like all of those things, I just wanted to try to represent that stuff.
For Chief Beverly Cook, this project became more than an honor. It became an opportunity to assert her identity, history, and beliefs beyond what people see on the surface.
What I was feeling was that there's this role that I play as a tribal leader, and that it's important, but there's a lot that I bring to it that isn't always obvious. And a lot of times people in the community and otherwise can make assumptions about what my personal philosophy is and what my core values are. And I think that this presented an opportunity to really say, this is who I am and what I'm made of, no matter what you think, that this is where I come from. So I talked about those experiences I had as a young woman and growing up in the activism I was involved in, and the personal experiences and what those things meant to me, because a lot of my from the time I was a little girl growing up, my father, and my mother instilled certain principles in me about my identity and who I was. And so it meant something to me to be able to talk about those things and talk about who I am. And when I saw the plate, I was flabbergasted. I mean, the process, I just trusted the process and trusted them. I got a really good feeling from the artists, and I totally trusted anything that they wanted to bring forward. And I also felt that in the end, it might be my story, but it's their work and it's their interpretation of it. It was more than I imagined it would be, and they caught every little nuance, and they caught the things that were really important to me deeply. So I'm just really proud of them. I'm proud of the work they did, and I'm proud of the piece, and I'm proud of myself. It really is quite amazing.
Through this reimagining of the dinner party, Chief Beverly Cook's legacy is now preserved not just in words, but in art, a reflection of her leadership, teachings, and the enduring influence of women.
Man,
You guys are so cute.
it's crazy good.